I haven't been able to stop crying since.
If she only reaches out when she needs something, like help or emotional support or some assistance, it's probably because she's just using you.
Welcome back to The Modern Judge. She ended a 25-year marriage, left a man who showed up every single time, and the moment she fell in a Walmart parking lot, the first thing she reached for was his number. Gentlemen, 25 years of evidence delivered in one moment. Let's go through it.
Yeah, I don't mind my eyebrows or my greasy face. I just got my eyebrows done. But I'm going to have a very vulnerable moment, if y'all don't mind. I just fell in the parking lot of Walmart. And I went to grab my phone in that moment that I was hurting. And I wanted to call my husband and cry to him and have him comfort me like he always had after 25 years. The first thing I wanted to do was call him. And then I realized that he's not mine to call anymore.
25 years of him showing up every time, without fail. She left that, and the first real moment of pain, her hand went straight to his number before her brain could stop it. That's not grief. That's muscle memory telling the truth. She made that decision herself, signed the papers herself, and standing in that parking lot, she felt exactly what he felt the day she told him it was over. The difference is he didn't film his.
And how alone I really am. And it sucks. It really sucks. And I haven't been able to stop crying since. And I'm fine. But it sucks so bad.
This is the part the Freedom Era content never shows. Not the ring light, not the healing journey captions. Just a parking lot, a bruised knee, and nobody to call. She said, "I'm fine," in the middle of crying. That one sentence is carrying 25 years of regret, and she doesn't even know it.
Having a woman on your arm in 2025 is a net negative. It used to be back in the day a sign of status to have a beautiful woman on your arm. Walking down the street with your girl, going into a restaurant, even into social events, parties, whatever. Being with a beautiful woman gave you status as a man, but not anymore. That has completely flipped. As I look around now, when I see men with women, all I see is emasculation. All I see is submission. And all I see is women that are in the dominant position.
He's not wrong. Walk into any restaurant right now and watch the dynamic. The man is managing her mood, her food order, and her opinion simultaneously. That's not a partnership. That's a job with no salary and no exit package.
I look at these men and I just feel sorry for them. And I can watch what's going on. I can see the dynamic and the energy between the couple. And it's always her, the woman, that is running the frame. On top of that, the way that men and women have been calibrated culturally over the last 50 years, let's say, has slowly moved them into this reverse polarity. Slowly over time, they've assimilated to their new roles. What's happening in modern relationships is that the beautiful, hot women that men would traditionally go for, the more beautiful they are, the more likely they are actually very masculine, because they now dominate through their beauty and men submit to them purely because of their beauty.
Beauty is currency, always has been. The problem is when a man spends everything he's just to sit at the table, and she still holds all the cards. That's not attraction anymore. That's leverage.
Able to hold frame in a world where women are celebrated through physical beauty as basically their only attribute. And it's weird because it's sort of landed in this weird double entendre of women wanted to be taken seriously for their achievements and for their hierarchical status in the culture, and not just for beauty objects. But it turns out that the more beautiful the woman, the more masculine she actually is, and the more dominant she is now in the culture. Think about modeling, for example. Models, actresses, all of this energy is very masculine because it's overt. Overt beauty, overt attention is masculine. Traditionally feminine, the feminine was hidden. It's the mysterious. It's in the shadow. That's where women historically had their influence. It was never seen as appropriate or popular for women to be overt. They lived in the esoteric, and that's where they had their power. Not only have they stepped into the man's world, they've now turned themselves into beauty objects, but in this weird reverse where that is now the ultimate metric of power when it comes to women.
She wanted to be taken seriously for her achievements, but the culture rewarded her for being seen. So she learned to dominate through visibility. And now she's confused why the men she actually wants won't submit to that. They're the ones who never needed to.
And because relationships are power dynamics, historically they were dominated by men, and now they're dominated by women. And that is what we're seeing everywhere. And you can just tell. Now, when you see a man with a woman, you know that he's submitted to her frame for the most part in general. Only very, very few men are capable of maintaining a frame and inviting a woman into that frame in the modern era, because women are calibrated to look for betaized men, for feminine men, for submissive men. And it's a suboptimal option for them, but they have culturally adapted to look for that as a metric of attraction, at least when it comes to their long-term partners. And so a lot of the time you'll see these men with these beautiful women and they're sort of like beta looking dudes and not necessarily like you wouldn't put them together. And you're like, how the hell is this going on? But it's because of this dominance. It's because women are looking to be dominant, and chads and powerful men don't submit to those women. And so the women will take these more beta men as their partners after they've had their fun with Chad. And ultimately, no one's happy with that arrangement. So anyway, that's the situation, guys. Comment below what you think. That's it for today, lads. Appreciate you all, as always. And I'll see you on the next one.
Boys, this is the only thing worth writing down from this entire video. Frame is everything. The moment you enter her reality instead of building your own, it's already over. She might stay, but she'll never fully respect you again. She had 25 years of a man who answered every call. She left because she thought something better was out there. Standing in that Walmart parking lot with a bruised knee and a phone in her hand, she found out what better actually costs. The modern judge has reviewed the full case. The verdict was always in the parking lot. See you in the next one.